Hey, and welcome to another episode of Late Night with Take Three. Today is a fun one. We're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and
Yeah.
I'm not alone here. I've got a great bevy of guests. I've got Garth. Garth, how's it going?
Hello. All right.
And also here, all the way from Transvaal, I've got Yasov Spear, also known as Doug.
Yalsov was Jay. I was just the DM. Uh, no, I'm excited to be here. It's always a great time to have an adventure with some friends, rolling some dice, trying not to die, and aiming for that critical roll.
Yeah. And I know Jay was Yasov. I was talking about his beer character that you played.
Oh yeah, asshole. Yeah, his name was asshole. He was funny. And also I played the mouse as well. Do you want to see a sword trick? No, it's never a yes. It's never a yes. Asshole.
but
He was funny. Uh,
but yeah, but before we do get into our main topic, we do have some movie news and stuff that has sort of come out this week, which is important to touch on. And but to start off with some sad news, it came out early on in the week that director Joel Schumacher passed away due to cancer, I believe. But it's one of those ones. It's a very sad thing. He's done a lot of good movies. A lot of people do like to focus on the two Batman movies for some reason, which is weird. But uh, Garth, what are some of your favorite memories of Joel Schumacher and all that?
well, one I actually helped me out in a trivia guessing game we were playing. We were playing like a 20 questions movies thing, and I guessed Lost Boys because it was like that, superhero director and and the various clues. I was like, oh, Jules Schumacher, yeah, Lost Boys, and that's still one of my favorites. I'm not familiar with his full, I'd have to look up his full run of things, but as far as the Batman movies, as silly as it was, adding the nipples and the neon colors and all, they're still okay movies. I mean, they're not horrible. I mean, people say they killed the Batman franchise, but I think it would have died regardless.
Yeah. And Doug, what are some of your favorite memories of Joel Schumacher?
Joel Schumacher's brought some really good movies besides Batman and Robin. He brought one of my favorite movies from the year I was born, which was The Lost Boys. I love that movie. Flatliners is a very underrated movie. I think not a lot of people talk about it, but I think it's a really good concept. And yeah, I think those are probably two of my favorite movies that he's ever done. And I mean, it's sad. It's sad when you get news like this because it just seems like it's inevitable. But it's like you learn to kind of take it in with each hit. I don't think anybody's hit me as hard as Robin Williams has, but I definitely respect the man's work. He's put a lot of. I'm looking at his filmography now. He's had a lot of stuff, all over the spectrum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with losing Ian Holm, you know, Ash from Alien, but he also, a lot of people tout the Bilbo role, but in that way we lost two Bilbos. The guy who voiced Bilbo in the animated Hobbit also died this year, so we lost Bilbos in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for me, like Doug, I haven't seen a lot of his filmography. Um, aside from Batman Forever, which I actually do enjoy personally. I do think it's one of those ones that gets a lot of bad rap, and that's not deserved. And I know Matt Coons also is a big supporter of Batman Forever and all that as well. Batman and Robin is what it is. It's entertaining. It's what, but I also like things like the phone booth. No, so phone booth and the Phantom of the Opera. I do enjoy those movies as well. But I mean, it's one of those ones like whenever someone dies, it's always sad. Really, like there's just like Doug's like celebrity death hasn't really hit me as hard as when Robin Williams died. I think Alan Rickman was probably closest close when he died as well. It's like he's one of those ones that I watched a lot of his movies and just got into him, but it's one of those ones. Now time to move on to maybe happier things. But they just will. This week we did get a trailer for the Kingsman. Not the multiplex faction, the Kingsmen, just the Kingsman.
Oh, man, I thought we were coming to theaters near you.
And it's also not a biopic of Caleb Coho, but anyway, the trailer for the Kingsman came out. And Doug, what did you think of the trailer?
I mean, I've been excited for this movie. I have no expectations of what it's going to be. I'm just excited to deep dive into this world that Mark Millar has kind of like gave us. So I think it's definitely something that's going to be interesting to take a prequel attempt at this. I believe it's World War II. Maybe?
Yeah. Somewhere around
up the head.
Older.
But I thought that was supposed to be Colin Firth's character.
Well, I'll look it up, but it's. I mean, if it's Mad Monk Rasputin, that's not World War II.
I'm on it.
Because they have the Mad Monk Rasputin, and history-wise, he's way older. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, one of the characters is going to be Nicholas II, which which ruled from 1894 to 1917.
Yeah, Grigory Rasputin died in 1916. So
okay, yeah. So it's not.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those ones that it's hard to tell from what I've read on Wikipedia where this actually takes place. I think it's going to take place maybe over a few wars, like may compass World War One and stuff like that. So who knows? But this is also one of those ones that when this movie comes out, I don't know, because I think it was slated to come out this year, but I think it'll be next year now by the time we get anything. But yeah. Garth, what are your feelings on the Kingsman trailer?
I liked it, and for me, it holds a personal thing because I'm a hemophiliac, and the Mad Monk Rasputin is famous. He worked with the Tsar Nicholas, and so seeing the royal family in there and Mad Monk Rasputin in there, their son had hemophilia, and he came in and was a miracle worker simply for stopping their treatment, which was one of their treatments was aspirin. And that's a blood thinner. So all he did was he just went, all right, stop what you're doing. I'm here now. And the kid started healing better. And it looked like a miracle, but it was just stopping aspirin. And so I always liked that historical thing of what he did. And then, of course, he was killed a million different ways. And did he really die, or was he impossible to kill? So all that myth surrounding him and the mysteriousness of him. So I like him as a historical figure. So to see him in this, it's cool, and to see the little. And I'm curious to see what they get into with the royal family and the hemophiliac kid and all that. Curious to see how that moves in.
Also, Doug, I realised we may have cut your thoughts short, but I'll let you continue. So.
Oh no, I was just I'm excited. It is not so I was wrong. So it's not
I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's like World War I. But no, I'm excited. I think this is gonna be really interesting to see where the Kingsmen, I guess, build up. I guess this is the start of the Kingsmen, not, sort of where Galahad is.
Yeah, and also like anytime Ray Fine joins the cast for anything, he does a good job of it, like anything he's given.
And from what I understand, this was actually a story on its own. It was a script on its own, and they adapted it and changed it to make it part of the Kingsman universe.
But yeah. Anyway, going on to some other news that has come out this week. I'm just going to rattle off like some of them. People can talk about what they want, and leave anything else to someone else if they don't want to talk about it. But we've got Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman in the Flash movie. Netflix has announced that there's going to be a sequel to Chicken Run. Apparently Mel Gibson is not going to be in it. I don't know, but there's a reboot of Twister apparently in the works. Jenny Slate has left Big Mouth. Splash Mountain is getting redesigned with a Princess and the Frog theme. Magic School Bus live action movie is in the works. Elizabeth Banks apparently is playing Miss Frizzle. Chiwetel Ejiofor is returning for Doctor Strange 2. There's going to be an animated series of Scott Pilgrim versus the World in the works, with Edgar Wright still attached to it. Campbell Scott is joining the cast of Jurassic World Dominion, playing a character called Lewis Dodgson.
We got Dodgson here.
And Margot Robbie is apparently going to be in the new reboot part of Pirates of the Caribbean, with Christina Hodson writing it. I'm going to start with Garth. Any of these news sort of speak out to you?
Yeah, with Jenny Slate, her and another actress from another show, I'm blanking on the name. They left their roles because they were playing mixed race or African American characters, and they thought, no, why should white people be voicing these characters? The odd thing is that Big Mouth has a lot of that. They have a lot of African American characters voiced by white people. So we'll see if other people leave. And with regards to Jurassic Park, the Dodgson thing, as I just joked about, that was one of my favorite scenes, where the guy is like trying to be subtle and stealthy, and he's like, nobody cares. Dodgson, we got Dodgson. So it'll be curious to see. Apparently, he's going to be higher up in the company now, and we'll see how they deal with the character.
Doug, any news that you want to talk about?
I mean, the Big Mouth thing's kind of a big thing. This has been a thing for the hundreds of years. Let's be honest. It's a big thing in Family Guy right now. The guy that plays Cleveland is a white guy. So let's see if we can make strides in doing better. But also that saying in the same thing. There was a thing with Hank Azario a while back because was Hank played
Apu,
Apu, and there were people saying that, do we really want to play the stereotypical role, because that's what the role was.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think the character Apu is kind of, I haven't watched Simpsons in forever. I remember when Disney Plus got it, I started watching it, but I haven't watched any of the new stuff, so I don't know if Apu's character's changed at all, or anything's happened. But I think with actors taking the strides and saying, no, we need to, make sure that it's on an equal footing. I think it's a big step. The other thing that I'm pretty excited for is Margot Robbie in Pirates of the Caribbean. Can we get a 2003 version of Pirates of the Caribbean though? Can she be the Jack Sparrow version? I mean, she's already showed she can play insane well. So let's let her play charismatically insane, super charismatically insane. Because Johnny Depp was, if anything, Johnny Depp is charismatic.
Johnny Depp was doing Keith Richards, which she'll do Courtney Love movie.
Yikes! Yikes! That's a big old yikes for me. I'm a Nirvana conspiracist.
I know Mary Lou Lord. Believe me, I know Mary Lou Lord's had death threats from Courtney. So
I'm excited for that. I think it could be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that you had. It rambled off pretty quick. I think a lot of the things that are going on right now, it's prevalent to make sure that we don't forget about things that are going on right now. So,
cut back to the list you rambled off. I forget if it was in there about the Michael Keaton.
Oh, the
It was
thing.
there.
Yes, I am super. Thank you, Garth, because that is something that I'm excited for. We're gonna get him as Thomas Wayne. Please.
No,
he's got to be Thomas. You're doing Flashpoint.
They actually look at Variety. Variety said it is not Thomas Wayne. He is coming back as Bruce.
I'm done with this movie already. I'm done. I'm done.
Now,
give me Thomas Wayne.
Why can't if it's Thomas?
Because you can't.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Thomas.
Well, no, but because they're trying to separate themselves from everything that they're doing.
Yeah.
But you're going to make a Flashpoint movie. A Flashpoint movie, the importance of Flashpoint is that you have Thomas Wayne and you have Martha Wayne. Martha's the Joker and Thomas is the Batman. That's the important part. That's the important stuff. Like, you can't leave. Like, I understand adaptation it's key to do that, but you still want to keep the heart of the story.
Yeah.
You know, Civil War still had the heart of Civil War. There were still issues in it. You know, so like Infinity War still had the heart of Infinity War in it. It adapted some things, but you still had your main cast of characters that were in Infinity War in the movie. So it's like,
I'm just saying, to bring Keaton back as anyone but Bruce would defeat the casting, in my opinion.
I mean, it's one of those ones like yes and no, because like it's one of those ones like we know quite often with news outlets, like they can find out that Michael Keaton is in talks with a Flash movie, think, oh yeah, he's coming back as Batman, and start and run with it. So it's one of those ones that, I mean, let's face it, we could potentially maybe get him as both. Like, we see him as Batman at the start, then Flashpoint happens, and he. I mean, it may end up being confusing, but
a lot of people were
find out
saying Thomas Wayne. So Variety came out with a story specifically saying there is no Thomas Wayne.
We're gonna get Terry McGinnis on stage.
I hope
on silver screen, and he's just gonna play old man Bruce, and I'm okay with it.
That's what I want. That's what. Similar
to, they give me a goddamn Batman Beyond movie.
Similar to what Kevin Conroy did that in the CW shows, where he played the old Bruce Wayne. So
that was great. I love seeing Kevin Conroy in.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind something similar to that. You know, old beat down Bruce.
I mean, it's one of those ones like, whatever happens, like we've finally got Keaton back in a hero role in a superhero show.
Yeah.
So
I hope I'm wrong, and maybe he is Thomas Wayne. We'll see. Maybe he's Owlman for all we know.
Ooh, could we get him? Can we get a syndicate? Could this be like? All right, forget Flashpoint. We're gonna get Justice League 2.0 with the syndicate, the crime syndicate from a different world. Do you think you could pitch that movie to Warner Brothers and they wouldn't?
That's how we get our first Green Lantern, sort of.
Yes.
Power.
Yes.
I mean, inside that, if you do that, the evil Justice League from another world, would you try and get like Linda Carter back as Wonder Woman?
No disrespect, but I think she's a little too old to play that role. And we're worried about her health.
Yeah.
among everything. That's what I'm really worried about.
I think they could have fun though, and cast what's her name from Agents of Shield, who was Wonder Woman, did a Wonder Woman pilot that failed.
Adrian
Yeah.
Palicki.
Adrian Pilecki, yeah. So they could have a little fun and cast her in that Power Woman type role.
Maybe we could get, even though I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen because he doesn't want to wear the suit, get Tom Welling as Ultraman.
That would be awesome. Listen, back up enough money in this man's driveway and we'll get him in a suit. I'm telling you. You do it to anybody. You just gotta listen, you just gotta hear these lovely sounds. Beep, 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 beep. Just dumpsters of money.
I was bummed they didn't. Michael Rosenbaum was like no amount of money for.
That does stink. That was
bummer.
But yeah, anyway, like for me, I'm excited about Keaton coming back. It's whatever role he sort of gets. I'm just happy that we're going to see him as some version of Batman in a movie again. I mean, and I know Kearns has mixed feelings about a Trista reboot. I honestly don't know what the point of it is. I mean, it works for the time. I mean, there's really not a lot of reason to reboot it, but if it turns out to be a best picture winning movie, then I'll change my tune to go, that Trista reboot worked. And I mean, the other one is it too late for a Chicken Run sequel now after 20 years? Because I mean, the last time they've tried doing a sequel to anything later, I mean, it's not either worked or it's failed. Bad Boys for Life, I think, worked to be a late sequel.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. I agree. I think it's too long for a Chicken Run. Listen, Chicken Run when Chicken Run came out was still just it was an movie. People watched it because it had Mel Gibson in it. He's not as much as a selling point anymore.
Yeah. And for me, I'm a huge Arden Mason fan with Nick Park and Wallace and Gromit. And of all the movies and stuff, Chicken Run's at the bottom. So to make a sequel of that, I'd rather see more Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, give me another Wallace and Gromit movie.
I definitely would love to see another one. And I mean, the last one I want to touch on, as soon as I saw the potential for Scott Pilgrim versus the World happening in different medium, that's not a sequel. I heard Spence and Holzman yelling from America all the way to New Zealand. It's one of the, and with Edgar Wright still attached, like, you know that he's going to make sure that it stays faithful to what has already been sort of set up and stuff. And I think this is a project I think Edgar Wright sort of holds close to his heart. Like, it's 10 years since the movie came out and we're still talking about it now, even though it didn't really do that well in the box office. But yeah,
I consider it a cult classic though. I'd consider it that. And for me, I was a fan of the comics, the original comics, and then they colorized them later and stuff like that. And so I've got all the various forms. I got the old black and white comics. I got the trades. I got the hardcover, color. So I think the movie did pretty good job. They changed a lot of stuff, changed the ending and stuff, but I think it did a good job. And I wouldn't mind seeing an animated series if they add more stuff from the books that they left out of the movie.
Oh yeah, they'll probably do a lot with that. But I mean, it's time to go into sort of the main topic and why everyone's joining us to talk about D&D. And like, first question I'm going to ask is the one I seem to ask for whatever topic is how did you get into D&D? Doug, we'll go to you. How did you first sort of start getting into D&D?
This is a tale. No. I was about, I want to say 11 years old. Me and a friend. Well, my friend's dad played D&D all the time. And like my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to play this game where you use your imagination?" And I was like 11 at the time. I was like, sure, maybe, okay. I was very influential. A tale as old as time. A boy and his dice. Uh, but no, I think my favorite thing about D&D that I've ever uh, was the ability that you could literally be anything, and what it's dice rolls that matter. It's your character that you bring to the table that matters, and you build this story together. So like I've been doing this since I was like 11, and I started DMing my first campaign when I was like 13. So like I've always had that innate ability to like kind of like have fun and just like try and get people to have fun with these adventures. So like D&D has always been near and dear to my heart. I'm 33 now, so like 22 years of D&D play. I think I have a little bit of experience.
Garth, you've probably got much
Yeah.
experience in D&D, but how did you first get into it?
I've got 42 years in this game.
Cool.
I started when I was 10 in 1978 in elementary school. And it was part of one of the groups. I was part of the spelling club, the chess club, the AV club, and D&D club, and we got into it. And I played it throughout elementary, from then on through junior high, and then high school was where it really kicked in. My first year of high school, I made friends with seniors who were really into D&D. We'd have whole weekends playing D&D. When they graduated and went off to college, I'd go to their colleges and play, UMass Amherst and whatnot. So I've been into it for a long time, and it's 42 years now, and I run groups. We have a comic store, Kamikaze, in Davis Square in Somerville, and we have D&D and gaming nights and stuff like that. So it's still part of my life, and I want to show a little blast from my past. One of the books I still have is my old Deities and Demigods from 1981. So this book is older than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm relatively new into D&D. Like, I literally started last year, like for the first time, and it's one of those ones that I sort of personally going, if you're new to D&D and you want to learn to play, put your name down here and like come to this place and we'll get you in. So I went and had a lot of fun. And then that group sort of got busy. We just stopped meeting. And then Doug started up Transvail and replayed that. I've still got my character sheet beside me, just secretly hoping he's going to bring it back, but it's like it's. I mean, I know it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen because everyone's all gone away to do their own stuff. It's just really busy, and it's made me sad, but I just keep it there because I don't want to get rid of it because yeah. But yeah. And I don't know where to go from here, but
I have some stuff to bring up.
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, from the early days in '78, basically, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons came out in '77. That's the first edition. That the white box came before that, but that's considered edition 0. But long before that, in the early '70s, Gary Gygax and his friends created Chainmail, and it was a very early stages game. He was more into Conan. They were into Lord of the Rings. he didn't like Tolkien, but he still worked in hobbits. They got sued, had to change them to halflings, etc. But they initially they only had Fighter Man, which or Fighting Man, which later changed to Fighter, Wizard, and Cleric. But over the years, it adapted, and you got to play more races than just human, and they added supplement, and then it became D&D, and that's the infamous white box. And then Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which would first edition, which is what I started with in '78.
Yeah, but like nowadays, there's so many different versions of D&D out there. Because I know there's someone is doing a D&D set in the Avatar universe, which I think Jay Burns is a part of that one, or he's interested in it. I don't know, but I know there's multitudes about Star Wars. There's definitely Lord of the Rings out there.
I played the Star Wars RPG, and that's fun too.
But yeah, which kind of brought me on to an interesting question. Doug, if you could have a D&D set in any fictional world that's already sort of established, where would you pick?
So I'm a huge anime fan. So there's probably 2 or 3 animes that I would love to set it in. D&D world in. I would love to set it in maybe like Black Clover, to where basically a person only gets one spell or one type of spell that they can use, and it's like that's what they get, and they also have to have a spell book, and it's like a bunch of other things that are pretty fun. And then I'd also probably put a world in My Hero. My Hero Academia, for people that don't know anime. It's a superhero world in which you get these things called quirks, and they're abilities that can grow in powers. And it'd be a lot of fun to do something like that. But yeah, those are probably the 2 worlds that I go most with.
Garth, is there any fictional world you'd love to do a D&D session?
Yes, and actually, it's already been done. I think they've got Pathfinder and other ones. But back in the early '80s, my friends and I made Pirate. I still have all the old stuff where we took D&D but made it space. We'd travel around. I still have old character sketches and stuff.
That's cool.
This was one of the guys, Cutter, whatever. So I have all this old stuff where we basically took D&D, made a space game where you go from planet to planet. You're still doing dungeon type stuff, but it's also aliens. You also have to deal with ship warps and space fights, Star Wars stuff. It was a whole mix of different games, but I think I'm pretty sure Pathfinder is pretty much our game.
Yeah, this is one that for me, there's so much that I would, but I'm probably just going to be basic and say I'd love to do one set in the Wizarding World, but it's and also or MCU, because I think those could lead to some interesting ways to take D&D campaigns. But yeah, Garth, what are some of your favorite campaigns that you've done in your years of D&D?
Well, back in the '80s, one of my favorite campaigns was we had a long-running campaign with characters, and we managed to survive the early levels together, which you don't always do in parties. Usually in levels 1 and 2, people die real easy. So the fact that we all survived and leveled up together was amazing. That we didn't really lose people along the way, or if they did die, we were rich enough or powerful enough to resurrect them. And unfortunately, it went on so long that we got so powerful that the poor DM was like, well, now you have to fight gods. So, that's where we called it quits. We were like, okay, they're going to retire now because they're fighting gods to be a challenge. And so, but that was one of my funnest campaigns because it went on for so long to have the same character for a long time. It's really fun. And I would like to also touch on that back then, all the stigma and the satanic panic and my religious mom buying into it and burning my D&D books and character sheets and stuff like that. But now I'm wearing like Critical Role stuff. I have Critical Role books. Now it's a popular thing, and it's great to see that change over all these decades.
Yeah. For me, one of my favorite campaigns, I'm not just saying this because Doug's on the call, is Transvale. It was just so much fun. Like, Doug found ways to make it entertaining, and even the people that was with, like Kelsey, Kirk, Spence, Jay, Sean, I almost forgot his name for a second there, but I mean, they all found it fun with the own entertaining things, like Spence just getting out of a lot of the battles by turning into a horse, and almost TPKing the whole party at times. But yeah, it was just so much fun, and if I can, like, and I'm not going. I'll let Doug talk about it, but I know he's working on something. But I'm not going to take that away from him because he's probably not ready to announce it anyway. But Doug, what are some of your favorite campaigns you've done?
Some of my favorite campaigns. Transvale was a lot of fun. It definitely was out there for a first online attempt. I definitely have a few things that I want to change up a little bit. To keep it a little more interesting, to keep the flow of the story going. I think I came up with a campaign that was a lot of fun. But for me personally, playing campaigns, I love when I get to sit back and just play a character and then mess with the DM. I love being a DM, but I love messing with the DM even more because I am one of those people that were like, well, no, actually, if I do this, this, and this, and this, you're beat. I think one of my favorite campaigns ever was a campaign that we were having with a friend. My friend is not the sharpest tool in the shed. And he got caught in the fire. He said, I'm going to jump out the window. This was second edition. We're playing second edition at the time. And they were like, do you have tumbling? And he was like, wait, what? They were like, did you check if the window was open? He was like, wait, what? All right, so we were like, we made him roll and see if the window was open. The window was open, but he didn't have tumbling, so he died from jumping out of a window instead of burning. I think one of my favorite campaigns that I've ever played, in all honesty, has to be a campaign where as a player, I rarely get past like level 5. Just because I do stupid stuff with my characters because I think it's fun. There's characters that I will try my hardest to keep alive, but I make impulsive decisions because those are the characters that I love the best. Because I'm not very impulsive in my life, so I get to play a character that's very impulsive because there's zero risk in it for me. So I got up to level 17, and with this character, it was like the longest campaign we had. I was doing like really incredible things, and we actually fought an avatar of a god. And I thought I was a badass, and it was like, we can do this, gung ho. This specific character, for anybody that has played D&D, knows there's a 9th level spell that if it's cast, your characters are done. He cast Wish and locked all our characters up in a timeless chamber, and we were not able to get free. The campaign ended. And he destroyed the world. So we were like, oh, that's what we get for being assholes and thinking we know better. That's what D&D is. It's thinking you can be an asshole when you really can't, because the DM's like, oh, you think you can play that? You think you can do that? I'll let you get away with that. But
there's a documentary, and I'm blanking on the name now, but about D&D, and it shows this infamous thing where it was a DM who lost his friends because he did a TPK in a bad way. He had a portal open, and one of them walked through the portal, not knowing what it led to or what happened, and the rest of the party followed through. And he goes, "Well, hand me your character sheets. You're all dead. That was a portal. The blah blah, and like basically you just all killed yourselves walking through that portal. You should have found out what was, you should have investigated." And he lost his friends, and they like never forgave him. And that, it was an interesting documentary where it was like this poor guy trying to play D&D with his friends again, and they're all like, "No, you that was a dickish thing." And so it's certain things like that where you do have that in campaigns where you enter certain situations and the DM will say, well, this happened and that happened. And some have more flexibility. And that's what I prefer in a DM, is where they go, okay, wait a minute, think about what you're doing,
Yeah, absolutely.
I came across one documentary. Don't know if it's the one that you're talking about. It's called The Dwarfnaut. Is that the one? Sound familiar?
It could be. It could be.
Yeah. I might have to. I'm planning on checking it. I'll check it out anyway. But it's like, but it's one of those ones like, I remember in my very first D&D campaign that I did, my very first roll, I managed to make a goblin explode because like I used magic missile and just completely overkilled this poor goblin, because the like back there, like the first campaign I did, like the dungeon master like, because we're newbies, he'll go like, "You killed this person by doing this," and when I used the magic missile, I was like, "You made this goblin explode into many little tiny pieces, and some of it lands on your shoulders." It's one of those things like I love like how creative they can get with the deaths, like and which is something that I did try to work on at times. Like in Transfer, when Doug would ask me how do I want to kill them, but like quite often I was just a little bit boring with how he described it. It's like, it's just one of those ones, because I can't remember exactly what the scenario was, but I know there was one time, I think it was Spence, that did something that that caused the whole party to have vomiting effects, and we had to roll.
Yeah. I did something, and he said I get sick. And I was like, "Oh, you're going to play it for flavor? Guess what? You're going to get vomit damage now." And I started rolling with it. I was like, that's what we're going to do. When everybody wants to get sick, guess what? Whenever it's titillating or it's disgusting, because Jay threw a javelin through someone's head. And I was like, everyone now roll Constitution saves to make sure that you don't vomit. And if you vomit, roll 1d6 of damage. So, and I think that actually killed or made Spence faint once, which was great. And it was great.
But yeah, but in D&D there's a lot of great races and classes that you can be. Doug, what are some of your favorite combos? You've either seen or you've been yourself.
I was in a campaign recently, and I played a Red Dragonborn, who was a blood. Let me pull up my D&D Beyond, because I'll tell you exactly what they were. D&D Beyond. Dead Air is great. Sorry, guys.
It's all good. It's one of those ones like when you try to look at something out, but
I read Dragonborn like that.
Let's see. Go to.
I mean, I think if I remember rightly, Jay was a Dragonborn, was he, or was it? Did he want to be, and you told him no?
No. He was something else. And no, where are my characters?
But
There we are. Characters. Boom. There it is. It is a blood hunter, a red dragon blood hunter. This character was insane, in good and bad ways. Blood hunters are kind of like they. It's something that Matthew Mercer's come up with. It's his class, and I was like, all right, let me try that out because that sounds super interesting. It's a level 6. It's great. I have like things that like give me super event. There's this thing called Crimson Right as a bonus spread. As a bonus action, I imbue a weapon with extra damage, chosen type based on the level. So like it's just there's a bunch. There's blood curses that I can do. There's a bunch of stuff that I have, and it's all great. I think that's probably my second favorite character. I have a thing with Rand's Nightblood as a character name and being a Dragonborn. So in another world, I am a sky pirate named Rand's Nightblood, and she was this amazing pirate captain who came into her own. She owned a sky vessel and she had a crew, and the crew was filled with a bunch of miscreants, one who created automatons for her disposal. So it was great.
But yeah, are we talking about pirates? Like Pirates of the Caribbean will be a very fun world to do a D&D campaign in. But yeah, one of the favorite combinations that I've sort of seen is I've sort of seen a goblin elf wizard. I do not know how that worked, but I mean, I think it might have just been a goblin wizard or something like that. But it was just this really strange like visual of seeing this little wee creepy golem-looking goblin running around casting spells, and just one of those interesting things. But Garth, any character combination that
yeah, for me,
yeah.
I haven't delved into the new races that much because my experience was mostly back in the old days when you were very limited. You pretty much had human, elf, half elf, halfling, dwarf, so I'm very, in knowing all these new races and new combinations you can do. I haven't played yet Dragonborn, Goliath. There's a lot of new ones that I'd love to try, and Furbolg and all that. Like Critical Role has helped open my eyes to the new. I'll keep plugging them. I'm a huge critter. They've opened my eyes to a whole new world of D&D and the various, as Douglas said, Matthew Mercer creates new worlds, new characters, new playable things, and it keeps evolving. They keep coming out with new stuff. With Alexandria and stuff like that. So it's wonderful how it keeps evolving and gets new people. So I'd love to try a lot of new races.
Oh yeah, it's one of those ones like just seeing where they take each campaign is amazing because And like when I knew I was going to do Dungeons and Dragons, I was sending out treats to so many different people to see if I could get them on, but as like sadly, like there wasn't any luck. But it's like it's all good. I mean, they're all like busy doing their stuff, and time zones are all over the place as well. But there's a lot of great like podcasts or campaigns that have been out there. Um, like one of the favorite campaigns I've sort of seen a little bits of it. I haven't actually watched the whole campaign from start to finish of these guys, but I know on the channel Outside Extra or Outside Xbox, I think they flip flop, which they do. They do like a D&D campaign over there, which gets to be a lot of fun, and they get a lot of fan art because of it. But yeah, Doug, is any D&D podcast you like listen to? I know one of them, but
yeah, go check out another D&D podcast. I listen to that. There is also Critical. I do like Critical a lot. There is, I'm trying to remember what their name is. They were the old College Humor people. Fantasy High was a good one, but I think they go by a full name though. Dimension 20, that's what it is. Dimension 20 is the other group. Also has two people from not another DMC podcast, Emily Axford and Murph. So it's a really good. I really enjoy them. They're really story based. They just not another D&D podcast just wrapped up their 100th episode on their main campaign. I'd go and check out the whole thing. It was worth listening to every second. They made me subscribe to their Patreon because of how much I enjoyed this show, and I just wanted to support them. I really think that they were really put together well. And then, come check out my podcast when it's going to be up and running, because hopefully I'll be able to entertain some people. I think I did a pretty good job with Transval. I think I'm going to bring something a little different this time, and it'll be a lot more. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and yeah, like as soon as Transval, like Doug brought up not another D&D podcast, and I started listening to them. I've been about that episode 10, so I've still got quite a long way to go yet. I quite often podcasts I just slowly listen to them in the car. I don't think I've laughed so much in a D&D campaign that I have in not another D&D podcast. It's so entertaining.
They're hilarious. It's just a bunch of comedic friends getting together and they make you laugh. One of my friends said that Moonshine gets on his nerves a little bit, but I'm like, that's just the character. Like, you need to just... He was like, I listened to one episode and I had to turn it off because she seemed too bossy and like just was oververted. I was like, hey man, that's your opinion. Completely get it. But I just love that thing about Moonshine. Moonshine's great. She's hilarious. Hard One Surefoot is probably my spirit animal. I love him so much. He is exactly me in the inside. Put the walls up. Put the walls up, put the walls up. For anybody that's seen or watched the show gets that reference. But no, I highly recommend it. They're about to start campaign 2, probably in like a month or two, as soon as they're finished their other campaign that they're doing, which is a really good campaign too. Like that, so like they have not missed with me, and I love the entire cast over there.
But Garth, is there any other like D&D podcasts that you like listen to?
Yeah, obviously Critical Role is my favorite. So happy they're coming back next week. Episode 100 of Campaign 2 starts up. They're doing safe social distancing. They'll be like far apart in the same studio and all that. But it'll be good to finally get back to Campaign 2 because they left on quite a cliffhanger back in March, I believe. Could have been February. But anyways, it's been months since we've had, they've been doing other shows, but and I do like other D&D ones. I like are Brian Posehn, the comedian, and his friends do Nerd Poker. That's a very fun one. And then Maud Garrett from Australia. She's done a lot of various shows, and she does Fungeons and Flagons, and they're all on YouTube now. And it's like Hector Navarro, Sam Bashor, Matt Mercer pops in, other people pop in, and it's just goofy fun where it's on the fly. And it's spelled weird. It's Fungeons and Flagons. And there's and then there's other ones that aren't strictly D&D that I follow. Pencils and Parsecs, which is the Star Wars RPG one, stuff like that. There's a lot out there.
But yeah, but with that, I think that does bring us to the end of that topic. And just like we all often do here, play a game. And this is one I know that Tony's played once over his channel. I hope I get this right of how it works. I think Doug's played it once, so he might be able to fill in. But basically, I'll say a movie title, then the next person has to say a movie title that starts with either one of the words at either end or end, and then we end up with a long title. Is that something of what it goes, Doug?
I've actually never played this game before, so
I have. What it is, it can get tricky because you can add on to the start or the end. So, like, say Back to the Future, and then you say Future World, which was
okay.
the Westworld, that kind of thing, and then you go, and then the next person has to go Back to the Future, Back to the Future World, and then you do like world,
War Z. War Z. So World War Z.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Okay.
and then the next person has, and so, but it gets tricky because as it goes on, you have to say the full. So the next person would have to say Back to the Future World, War Z, and then you get in trouble.
So yeah, this game can probably turn into a big mess and just screwing it up, or can turn into something entertaining. But so we'll see how it goes. I think for the first movie of just looking at my DVDs, let's start with The Disaster Artist. And it's going to go me, Garth, and Doug.
Okay. And The Disaster Artists. So, all right. So, artist or Knights of Dance, The Disaster Artist.
Can you say that
was
again?
it?
Knights of Rodanthe, The Disaster Artist, or Disaster Artist.
Oh, so yeah, Knights of yeah.
Rodanthe.
Yeah.
Knights of Rodan, The Disaster Artist. I may be out quick because movie with the artist in it. The only one that I can think of is The Artist.
Which sadly you can't do. Just because you can't insert that into the middle of The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Give me a few more seconds. Let me.
It's all good.
Give me a countdown.
Or you can anything that ends in Knights, and it's not with the K. It's Knights.
Oh, it's oh.
Knights of Rodanthe. I'll spell it. It's
Are we taking subtitles?
I don't know can't remember what the rule was, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I can't use that one because that's with a K. Can't use that one because that's got a subtitle.
I think you could get away with a K because, like what I did, where the is part of the word, so ending something with knights with the K would still lead into Knights of Rodanthe. Like knights.
Okay. Let's see.
I'd let you get away with that if you had something that ended in knights. Version.
But yeah, because I mean you can use the word in another word, but yeah.
Yeah, you can like artist. You could be if there was something that started artistic or something like that, it would still work.
Five, four.
Yeah.
Three.
All right. The Dark Knight of Rodanthe, the Disaster Artist.
Dark Knights of Rodanthe, Disaster Artist. Now we have the again. I was trying to get rid of the. Because the is always hard to. So that end gets blocked.
I mean, artist is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, in saying that, didn't they? I mean, didn't they have the rule that you could repeat movies in that one?
Yeah, you can't pull out Knights of Rodanthe again to know that.
Because I was kind of hoping he was going to go to the other end because I was going to go Boogie Nights, but I can't. So
Boogie would have been a hard one to.
Yeah. Just because I don't really want to throw Knights of Rodanthe on again, I'm just going to. I'm out. It's between Garth and Duck.
You're not allowed to use the same movie twice, really.
Yeah, I'm not going to. So
yeah, and movies that begin with artists, that's tough.
Oh, it begins with artists. It's got to begin with artists. That's right.
Yeah, because you're going on to the end of Disaster Artist, so it's got to start with artists or artistic. And I can't think of a movie that starts with artist. And I already played my trump card on the ones that end in THE.
Shit.
I've
just realised something.
What's that?
I mean, if Garth is tapping out, that means Doug wins by default. But I just looked it up. We could have got the terrible movie Alone in the Dark.
What?
There's this terrible movie based on a video game called Alone in the Dark, done by U-Bowl.
Yeah, I just
doesn't end in the.
I just Googled it because I wanted to make sure.
You can't use two words.
There is.
Oh, you can't use two words.
Yeah,
there are only three titles, and two of them are the same. So there's only two titles with art even in the word.
But
start with you'd have to start with artist, like artist of whatever or something.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That literally is.
Yeah.
3 titles and 2 of them are the same movie.
Yeah.
That
was and that's why, like, when I played this game before,
so many movies start with the, and so that usually blocks that because you have to end in the
Yeah.
you know and so when I found, and I'll double check the title, but let's see, Knights of Rhodance. Yeah, so Knights in Rhodance. Sorry, excuse me. Is a 2008 romantic drama film, and it's Rodanthe. And so that was always my trump card I'd play when someone
Oh, okay.
the title.
But anyway, Scott, time. Let's try this again.
Okay.
The movie I'm going to do this time is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay. All right.
I'm just going to go same order.
Okay. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. All right. Scott Pilgrim versus the World's End.
And, the world. And, Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Ender Game. Ha!
Is it Ender's Game, right?
It's Ender's
Ender's Game, yeah. Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Ender's Game Night.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna make it easy for you, Doug. Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Ender's Game Night. No, I'm not gonna make it that easy. Nightmare Before Christmas.
So Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Ender's Game, Nightmare.
Worlds. It's apostrophe S because I did World's End.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Ender's Game, Nightmare Before
Christmas.
I want to look at that because I think it's technically just called Christmas Vacation.
It's what, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, I think it's just called Christmas Vacation because it's just called Vacation and it's just called European. They just throw the National Lampoon because that's the production company. You know what? It's fine. I will.
You can also remember you can use part of a word, so it doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be like mass, so like master or masters.
Oh, okay, I got you. I want to kind of do Christmas because I think I have one. Does it have to be released theatrically?
Yeah, because if we get into TV movies, that gets. Oh, you're looking up stuff, aren't you?
I just wanted to see if Vacation was part of that. Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Ender's Game, Nightmare Before Christmas. Chris Master and Commander.
There you go.
I was thinking Masters of the Universe.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Enders game, Nightmare Before Christmas, Chris Master and Commander.
Oh, I thought a good one.
We're playing that we're not able to Google, right?
Yeah, no, I was looking up before I went for the Christmas one.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Yeah, I mean, I think that specific movie, I think, is labelled as National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation as the official title. So I think it's European and Vegas Vacation. I know they get rid of that, but
no, I was just there for movies ending in Scott. I have ideas, but I don't know if they're real.
I mean, I've got an idea, but there's one that I want to use, but it's not the same. It's got an extra letter that's not going to make it not work. And yeah, no, I'm out. I really can't. So it's on you, Gav.
All right. I'm thinking of foreign ones. All right. This one, since you're out, Malcolm, you might be able to Google this one, but I'm pretty sure it's a movie title. But you can check it. All right. So Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Enders game, Nightmare Before Chris Master and Commander, and I'll go with Der Kommissar.
Der Kommissar?
Yeah, Commander Kommissar. I think the movie. Look up Der DER and then KOMMISAR.
KOMMISAR.
Like the song, the Kommissar.
Oh, right.
I'm not sure that's a movie, but I think it is.
It's a TV series.
Oh shoot! Shoot! All right, so I guess that means Doug wins then. Out of
Yeah.
I failed. I thought Der Kommissar was. I was thinking like Das Boot,
Yeah. The movie I wanted to add at the start was Mary Queen of Scots, but it's like that's not going to work because it's not Scott.
Yeah, because and I was thinking like, if there's a movie called Great Scott, something like that.
I was just gonna do Scott Pilgrim versus the World's Ender game, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Commander. Because Commander's a title of a movie.
What? Okay, so you can do all right.
Well, I mean, I
There's
don't.
no rule.
Okay.
But once again, I think there's a reason that Tony hasn't played this game again.
It can be very tough.
Yeah, and the fact is, I think no one really understands it, as apparently it's proven here. But anyway, I just want to do something different from the standard 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon that always goes chaotic as well. But anyway, we have end. But Garth, where can people follow you online?
Garth McMurray on Facebook and Twitter, and Garth_McMurray on Instagram. I see a lot of my comic art there, and then I pop up on various shows like this and family matches.
Malcolm, you plug your stuff. Give me 2 seconds to plug my. Go to the bathroom and plug my stuff.
Yeah. but yeah, you can find me over on Take 3 Productions, where I host Late Night Take 3. I'll just double check because.
Michael?
Oh yeah, I'm getting to that. It's more of a case I'm
Oh, I
checking
thought you were
something
looking
just
up.
to. Late night is going to be on a break next week because just because it's a certain person. I'll let that person plug it because I'm not going to steal that away from them. But so we're going to take a break because one, I don't be clashing, and two, I'll probably be over there. But you can also find me with Rankum on Saturday nights. And tomorrow is going to be decade defining actresses of the 2000s. It's going to be a lot of fun and probably a lot of different definitions for how to determine who defines it at the decade, but it's just going to be a lot of fun regardless. And you can find me over on Full Metal. I host Full Metal Classic on Sunday nights. I'll be doing the drawing a little bit later on. And I also host Full Metal Random, which next week is going to be 2010's music. Doug, go ahead and plug your stuff.
All right, guys. I don't know what's going on with Doctor for Late Night next week, but next week on my Twitch channel, we are doing a birthday celebration because next week's my birthday. I'm an old guy at that point. We won't talk about that. But we are going to live stream and watch with a bunch of people Hamilton, greatest musical to ever come out in the 20/21st century. It's incredible. If you don't know about Hamilton, go check out the music, but I'm probably sure everybody's heard of Hamilton by now. True, not false. And so also we're going to be doing games there, and then we're also going to have a karaoke party on Twitch. Gonna have a lot of blast. Go check that out at www.twitch.tv/DarkwingDuck7387. We are also probably going to put the new D&D game up on there. July 7th, we have the premiere of Highlander on the FTPL feature presentation YouTube page. Go check that out. Sign up. It's a great game. You'll learn about it once you sign up to play. Unless you've already tested it out, which I appreciate the people that have tested it out. Keeping their silence. People are great sometimes. People keep their... Garth, you're fine. You're only as old as your mind thinks you are. And what else do I got? Multiplex Miscellaneous Sundays. Sign up. Join us. We have 2 new hosts coming in this week, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Go check out and have fun with those guys. I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. Make sure you support Take 3. Make sure you support Multiplex. Make sure you support Feature Presentation and Full Metal as well. I remembered. I didn't forget. But thanks for having me on, Malcolm.
It's all good. And we're not on Zoom, but we're going to Zoom on out of here.
Yeah.